YouTube family, I hope all is well. It is Mimwell here and I'm back for some more Ruthless raiding. Now this time around you will see a few of your suggestions in the raid section. That will be some Telltale teams, also got some Rainbow teams coming in, some All Jesus teams, and just a bunch of, I guess, little suggestions we had in the comments last video, which was really cool. So keep them coming and I'll keep actually raiding with those sorts of teams. Now, basically what I'm going to do with these raid videos is I'm going to choose a topic or talk about a few random things and sort of pass the time so you get to hear my annoying voice a bit more while you're watching these raids. This time around I want to talk about war, and the reason being is I've been getting asked a few questions about war, and that's because the last 2 months has been minimal war content on the channel. Also the last few weeks has been basically none. Last month it's really been cutting down quite a bit. And the reason being, unfortunately, is I actually quit war. So I basically walked away from war. I no longer participated in it or anything. But not only did I walk away from war, my whole faction essentially walked away. So we were the third ranking faction, still are even now. And we basically walked away from war. Now there was a lot of reasons why I walked away, not only individually but as a faction why we walked away, and I will talk about that a bit. But firstly I should definitely apologise. I am honestly sorry that I no longer partake in war, and the main reason is because of the live streams. Now the live streams took, I guess, the interaction level and the way we were allowed to chat and all that good stuff to a new level. Unfortunately, it's sad to see that go from the channel because I quite enjoyed it, and I know there were a lot of you out there that enjoyed it also, so I'm truly sorry for that. But like I said, my frustration was just hit the peak when it came to war. I'm already frustrated and annoyed at this game enough, and then but I was even more frustrated at war, and you add that on top, everything was just building up to the point where quite a few times I almost quit the game completely, and it was mainly because of war, just the frustration I was feeling in war. And you know, I was feeling it not only from a faction leader perspective, but also being, you know, the #1 ranking player in a region, not only in rep but also individual war points. So I was feeling that pressure to perform, and it was really hard. I would keep putting all these big things up and keep trying my heart out just to watch, I guess, people come in with dirty tactics and take that all away. And that was a main frustration I felt and my faction felt also. Now essentially, as you can probably tell, some of the reasons for me walking away were this cheating and farming aspect when it comes to war. My region got really bad at it. Essentially we have 2 factions that are helping each other, another 2, and we're sort of the left one out. We're a very small region, so we only have about 5 factions actually participating, so it was sort of one was left out. Now my moral compass as a leader, as a person, as everything, just wouldn't let me get involved in such rubbish dirty tactics like that. I just can't do that. As a player, I could never do that. As a true gamer, I can never actually do that. So, you know, at the end of the day, we were basically never going to be in an alliance like that, and it really hurt us in the end. And I honestly take full responsibility for where my faction is at. That is down to me because I wouldn't do these sorts of things. So that's just how it goes. But like I said, it was very hard, and we fought for so long without using these tactics. Over all the farming that was happening, all the coining. Coining is not cheating, it's just another thing that frustrates you with war, especially when your faction isn't coining. It got so bad in the end that essentially the factions wouldn't die anymore because they just kept coining every time. And when you're a faction that relies more on your teamwork and the strength of your teams and things like that, it's very hard to compete with that coining, which is, you know, it really started to frustrate us in the end. And then you come back to the absolute garbage rewards that you get, recycled garbage that you get, okay? They just move from one position to the other, varying in war, and the new tunes ain't even worth the fight in the end. They're not even worth the coining, but whatever floats people's boats. And then you sort of come back to the crappy towers, in which I was much preferred the walls, where it was more your raw team versus their raw team, because that really shined and that showed the strength of, you know, your setup and things like that, where these towers took everything away. 80% attack, it takes everything away from a wall. So, you know, that was some of the things I was feeling frustrated with. And like I said, my whole faction was basically feeling this frustration, and we sort of decided to walk away in the end from it. But I had to sacrifice war to stay in this game, and that's the main thing I want to emphasize. But as always, thanks for watching.